Thank you for listening to that very good song by Nyangweta Ewa Tara Nangche. Now we're going to talk a little bit about a day in a life in the United States of America. Some of us have lived in the United States of America for 10, 11, some of us even 30
50,
years.
Even 50.
Yes. Okay, now we're going to talk about a life in the United States of America. America, you expect to have a very nice house, a bungalow.
Oh, yeah. Back in Kenya?
Back in Kenya, like, you work hard, you expect to harvest the fruits that you've planted. Now, coming to the United States of America, you expect it to be easy for you, economically and just day in life. So, what would you say to the people that expect in owning a bungalow the first day they come to the United States of America?
You know, that's the challenge that we face from our own people, because your priorities are not my priorities.
Yes.
There are people who come here with their relatives, or they are welcomed by their relatives. They find an easy landing. And this life, as I said, is an equalizer. You may come big, and here you land small.
Yes.
So, or you may come small, you land big. Meaning that it all depends on the area of your reception, who received you, which kind of job you fell into at first, and what you're doing. But eventually, what I want to say is that, you know, there are so many differences. There are people, once they come here, there are so many reasons. You are told, oh, you are my friend, you are my brother, you are my cousin. I don't want you to pay rent. I don't want you to pay any bill. Therefore, all the money you get, you keep to yourself, you save, so that at times you say, okay, I borrowed some money when I was coming to US. So let me pay my debtors first and then do other things. There are people who didn't even borrow even a single Kenyan shilling to come to US. They had all the money. Those people are not going to return it to anybody. So all their savings, they can do whichever they want. And somebody, like now, the way I grew up, we never had a permanent house.
Yes.
All through my life. So maybe my priority will be, once I land in the US, the first thing is to see that my parents live in a permanent house. That's my priority. But that's not to say that that will be other people's priorities. So I think what we have is a competition in life. And that lands us somewhere disappointed. Because people there is so much expectation from our own people at home and even here in abroad.
Now, we've talked about a one-person expectation versus reality.
Okay.
Now we want to talk about a family. Let's say, for example, my family. We're a family of 5. We live in the United States of America. Now, it's not the same way, the way we used to live in Kenya.
Oh, yeah.
My mom was a teacher. My dad used to, he used to work at, there's a company called Roto Molders in Nairobi. He used to make tanks because back then they would use, like in the year 2004 going up, they would use tanks for water and other things.
Yeah, I remember ordering some for my, one of my
your house, yes. So, like, life was not the same. Whenever my dad would go and deliver one of those tanks, it would.
Now he can't deliver anymore here. Your mom can't go to teach.
Yeah, I wouldn't see him for like a week, maybe 2 weeks, and I would go and live with my aunt. Now here in the United States of America, there's a law that says you must be with your children for a certain amount of hours, certain amount of days, and at some point you can't leave your children at home alone.
Yeah, there must always be an adult in the house. That's the law, and actually it is safe. You know, like my mom used to go to work. My dad used to go to work. At times we were very young, and at times even if you are 5 or 6 years old, you can remain at home and you are very responsible. Nothing happens. At times you walk everywhere and eventually come back by yourself. Nobody cares. Yeah, it happens, but not here. You see, that is now the big difference, because this is a country of laws, and you have to abide by the law, or else you fall into the side of the law which will not be
very friendly
to you. Therefore, it is very necessary that not only parents, families stick together for that purpose. And one more thing, because you asked, you know, there are so many changes and challenges here. You can't teach here anymore if you came from Kenya as a teacher. There is something we call alternative certification, whereby you can go sit for an exam, they test you and see where you fall, and then they can give you an alternative certification. Let's say you are maybe like a student, you were in 4th grade, they'll get you, they say, you fall somewhere 2nd or 3rd grade, they put you there. So that's alternative certifications. If you pass the exam, that's what happens. But if you don't pass, then you start from a different level. But unfortunately, our people, when they come here, they don't have access to such knowledge. And even though they have it, we have an accent. That accent, the kids here, they are very honest. They tell you have an accent, we can't hear you. So due to those challenges and such things, we come all together for an equalizer, which tells us, oh, let me do that which I can do, at least what everybody does for me to survive. And that way, people forget or leave out whichever course that they undertook overseas, and here they do different courses and they join together. So as a family, all I can say is that not only that you are forced, even though we may see that you are forced to stay with your family or such things, maybe you don't go, it also builds the ties, you know. America, even though people say it's not family-oriented, it's family-oriented, in that you are supposed to be with your family for such a time.
Okay. Now, before I ask this next question, we're going to have a show that's coming up called the Seventh-day Adventist Church in the United States of America. When a lot of people come to the United States of America, or know that they're going to come to the United States of America sooner or later, they know that it's going to be a problem going to church on Saturday. Now, a lot of East Africans, or most East Africans or Africans, go to church on Saturday, or some go Sunday. Some are Islamic, and some, they're just atheists. They don't believe in God. Now, in the United States of America, how would you say the Seventh-day Adventist Church is, and how would you rate people's going to church?
Well, you know, it's a difficult question to answer in one sitting, as you said. We're going to sit down with the clergy, and they're going to tell us more, and some of the Christians in those various denominations. But I've heard several people say that, you know, Christianity in the United States is not an easy thing. That's what other people say. And I've also heard people say that it's not easy to worship in the United States. But the most unfortunate thing is that those people who are saying those things, they have not been in the United States of America. So once you find somebody who has never been to a place advising you or telling you something regarding a certain place that person has never attended or has been, then you know, if you trust that person, you have something wrong. And what I can say is that worship in the United States of America is a broad topic, and we are going to have the clergy tackle it more and see what can come out of it. But again, as I said earlier, it is not easy for me to take advice from somebody who was, okay, I can listen to what they say. But unfortunately, most of those people saying that it is hard to be a Christian in America, most of them have never been here. So you cannot really, you cannot per se say that they are right or wrong, because they have not been here, they have never been here. And those who have been here, what I can say is that they have always been a faithful generation, a faithful people of God in every generation. So they are God's people here, even though they are sick, no matter what. Even though they are threatened that I'm going to sack you at the job, they don't care. They say, I have to be at church, whether it's Saturday or Sunday, whichever their day is. So they are faithful people. But another point we cannot leave out is that there are also people who said, you know, I came here to work. So even if the preacher has just started preaching, and that clock comes, or I'm supposed to clock in, that person will just walk out. And most people, let me say, it also depends with your level of Christianity. Your level of Christianity, there are people who really don't care. There are people who just, you know, who are church attendees. The church was. They just
want to fill the church,
that way. There are people who just come there for, let me say, for a social gathering, social meeting. Oh, I'm going to meet my friend, to meet my fellow Kenyans. You know, there are people who are never serious, but they want to be seen that I was also there. So it also depends on the level of Christianity, level of commitment with an individual with his Lord. Therefore, we cannot rule out, yes, there are people who really want to come and worship God. And there are people who don't want to come and worship God, they want to come and socialize. Therefore, we cannot generalize and say, you know, it's not easy to worship in the United States. Even though, one more thing I want to caution is that there is a lot of liberty. Liberty, let me say, I'm not talking about just religious liberty, but there's a lot of freedom in this country. Everything, if you wanna smoke, you can smoke. If you wanna drink, you can drink, whichever you want. That's why you find so many Christians. We were singing together at church, in the youth choir, in the church choir. We were very good Christians now because of such much freedoms. You find somebody is smoking, somebody is drinking, and yet after drinking, somebody is still a deacon, coming to church, and you see, the side things happen because nobody cares what you do at times.
Okay, now, before we end this, because we do, this is a very broad topic.
Yeah.
Our topic when we started was Mominchori imi, tangana mosera ibu.
Yeah, an early riser. How do we say that?
An early riser versus a lazy person.
Yeah, yeah.
I want you to tell our viewers, and I want you to alternate between Kisi and English, if you can, even Swahili, because I want to make sure that our people understand how we live our life in the United States of America.
Okay.
And Mominchori imi, tangana mosera ibu. What is it?
You know, the way we live here, let me say, economically, if you don't wake up, if you don't work hard, generally that's what it means. If you don't work hard, you're not going to have anything on your table. But if you work hard, you're going to have something at the end of it. There is a Swahili saying that says, ukipanda pantosha, utavuna pankwisha. Yeah, I used to teach Swahili at times. So that means if you sow sparingly, you're going to reap sparingly. And that means if you sow nothing, then you reap nothing. That's what it means. So you have to calculate, and really, I did management in college, and actually I did a major in business accounting. So I know failure to plan is planning to fail. That is eventually what it means. If you don't plan, then you're planned to fail.
All right.
Yeah.
And are those your last words to our viewers?
Maybe my final words is that, you know, keep on commenting, keep on watching, and there is no one who has a monopoly of ideas. This is our talk show, and if you have another addition to our discussion, you can add there. If you want us to discuss another topic, you want to be a guest in our shows, you are very much welcome. We are here. We are not those who say that we know everything. We are not the know-it-all people. So as we talk, the way we see things, maybe perceptions are different. Therefore, that's our perception. If you have a different perception, keep on commenting, and let's keep on talking, and then that's how we grow together.
All right. Like he said, make sure you comment. If you have a topic you want us to tackle, make sure you comment it down there. Make sure you like this video, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you want to email something, email it at abagusiglobalradio@gmail.com. And also, Make sure you strive for excellence and don't be the lazy person in the United States of America like many people say. Mominchori imi, tanga na mosera ibu. Alfax Nyabuto, Abagusi Global Radio, live. Abagusi Global.